Have you ever looked into a mirror and wondered if the person staring back is really all of you? Beyond your reflection, there's a sense of being, the one who's looking. This inner awareness is where our big question begins. What is this feeling of aliveness, this sense that you are here? It's not just your name, your body, or your thoughts. It's like a private movie only you can watch, full of your sensations, emotions, and experiences. This stream of knowing you exist is what many call consciousness. Imagine it as a light switched on inside your mind. When it's on, you see, feel, and know. When you sleep deeply, that light dims or goes out, only to return when you wake. But where does this inner light come from? Is it just the brain, or something more? This is one of the biggest mysteries science and philosophy have ever faced. It makes us question the very nature of reality itself. So, what do we mean by conscious? At its core, it's about being aware, having experiences. The taste of a strawberry, the warmth of the sun, the sound of music, these are all conscious experiences. Scientists call these personal qualities qualia, the building blocks of your inner world. Even when you dream, your mind creates entire worlds, showing that consciousness isn't just tied to the outside. Being conscious isn't just about thinking or being smart like a computer. It's about feeling, experiencing, and simply being you right now. The color red, the sound of laughter, the feeling of happiness or sadness, these are all part of the show of life in your awareness. Consciousness is the direct, vivid sense of what it's like to be alive. It's not just logic or intelligence, it's the richness of experience. This is the core of the mystery we're exploring. Why do these experiences feel the way they do? What makes your inner world so unique? These questions drive our search for understanding, and they reveal just how deep the mystery goes. Scientists can measure brain cells, track electrical signals, and map chemicals in the brain. These are the physical parts, the so-called easy problem. But the real challenge is this. How do these physical processes create the feeling of being you? How does a pattern of brain activity become the experience of a sunset or the taste of coffee? Philosopher David Chalmers calls this the hard problem of consciousness. Imagine explaining the color blue to someone born blind. You can describe light waves, but not the experience itself. There's a gap between physical facts and inner feelings. How does objective matter create subjective mind? We see brain areas light up with certain feelings, but that's just correlation, not explanation. The leap from brain activity to conscious experience remains unsolved. This gap is vast and puzzling. The hard problem is still one of science's greatest mysteries. Scientists use tools like EEGs and fMRIs to study consciousness. EEGs measure brainwaves, patterns that shift as we wake, sleep, or dream. fMRIs show which brain areas are active when we're aware. The thalamus and cortex are key players in conscious experience. Theories try to explain how this all works. The global workspace theory says consciousness is like a spotlight. When information hits the stage, it's shared across the brain. Integrated information theory, or IIT, suggests consciousness depends on how much information a system can integrate. The more complex the connections, the richer the consciousness. IIT even tries to measure this with a value called phi. These theories offer clues, but none fully explain why experience feels the way it does. The subjective quality, the what it's like, remains elusive. Science is making progress, but the core mystery is still unsolved. The door to understanding consciousness is still wide open. The mystery of consciousness has fascinated people for thousands of years. Ancient Greeks like Plato saw the soul as separate from the body, hinting at a non-material self. In India, the Upanishads spoke of Brahman, universal consciousness, and Atman, the individual self, as one and the same. This view saw personal awareness as a spark of cosmic awareness. Materialist thinkers like Democritus believed everything was made of atoms, no separate soul. Buddhist philosophy described consciousness as a flowing stream, explored through meditation. These traditions offer deep, contemplative approaches to the mind. The debate between material and non-material views has shaped cultures for centuries. Ancient ideas still influence how we think about consciousness today. The search for answers is as old as humanity itself. Most scientists believe consciousness is produced by the brain complex network of neurons. This view, neurocentrism, sees the brain as a biological computer with consciousness as its software. But some philosophers ask, what if consciousness is a basic feature of the universe, like gravity? This idea, called panpsychism, suggests even atoms might have a tiny spark of awareness. When matter becomes more complex, like in a brain, richer consciousness emerges. It doesn't mean rocks think, but that experience might be woven into the fabric of reality. Many ancient and indigenous cultures saw spirit or awareness in all of nature. Panpsychism challenges us to rethink our place in the cosmos. Could the universe itself be in some way aware? The question opens up fascinating possibilities. Some theories about consciousness push the boundaries of science and imagination. Quantum mechanics, the physics of the very small, has inspired ideas that consciousness might arise from quantum processes in brain cells. Scientists like Penrose and Hameroff suggest microtubules in neurons could support quantum computations linked to awareness. Another idea is simulation theory. What if our reality is a vast, advanced computer simulation? If so, our experiences would be programmed by another intelligence. There's also the brain as receiver theory. What if the brain tunes into a universal field of consciousness, like a radio? If the brain is damaged, the signal gets distorted, but the field remains. These ideas are speculative, but they show how far we'll go to solve the mystery. Consciousness might be stranger than we ever imagined. So, what is consciousness? We still don't have a complete answer. This mystery sits at the heart of our existence, shaping who we are and how we relate to the world. Understanding consciousness isn't just for scientists or philosophers. It matters to everyone. It shapes our values, ethics, and how we treat other beings. If animals are conscious, it changes how we think about their rights and welfare. It affects how we care for patients in comas and how we approach artificial intelligence. Could machines ever be conscious? If so, what responsibilities would we have? The mystery of consciousness invites humility and curiosity. It reminds us how much we have yet to learn about ourselves and the universe. The quest isn't just about answers, it's about appreciating the gift of experience. The journey to understand consciousness continues.